All right. Video number two. I'm not sure why my video thing's not working, guys. So hopefully it pops up, or maybe you guys are seeing it. I don't know. Anyway, video number two. All right. So I kind of sped through this, but I wanted it'd be kind of remiss if I didn't at least talk about the Spanish flu back in 1919. Crazy because we kind of lived through it just now. So if you've seen in the news, obviously during COVID, you may have seen some reference to the influenza epidemic of 1919, also known as the Spanish flu. Obviously, a worldwide pandemic, um, very similar to what we're experiencing now. 20 to 40 million people died over the course of this pandemic. So really crazy to think that obviously you have World War One, you have literally tens of millions of deaths, plus you have this. The amount of loss of life that was lost during this time is just mind-boggling. How many people died? So anyway, all right. So ultimately, guys, your assignment that you're gonna be working on, um, it's gonna be due on Monday, is going to be about, okay, well, what to do after the war. Germany surrenders. Well, you have something called this Paris Peace Conference, and obviously these four leaders. You can move this up so you guys can see it. Woodrow Wilson of the United States, David Lloyd George of Great Britain, Georges Clemenceau of France, and Vittorio Orlando of Italy. Known as the Big Four, but you could really argue it's really the Big Three guys. It's really Wilson, Britain, and France. These three are really going to run things. Can remember what we said in the beginning part. Italy started off on the other side. They started off with Germany, and they will eventually they'll change sides. So really, the United States and France and Great Britain, they don't really trust Italy to fully to start. Never quite fully accept them, so to speak. So although they're members of the Big Four, they really don't have the same clout, I guess you can say. Really, it's these three that are really running it. But ultimately, so anyway, they meet in Paris and they discuss, okay, well, what do they want to do with Germany? What's going to be the punishment? Because obviously, when you have a war, you need a treaty. So when they went into this, guys, all four of these guys, they had their own agendas, they had their own goals, um, their own needs and wants. Um, so kind of what you're going to be reading about in for the rest of the assignment is, especially in terms of the United States, President Woodrow Wilson, what were his goals going into this meeting? What did he want to see happen? Now, obviously, guys, obviously you don't want another war to happen after this. You don't want countries getting upset, getting ticked off, and you're gonna want to see, and as you're reading, really try to see what Woodrow Wilson proposes. Here's Woodrow Wilson right here. You're gonna be doing a reading here in a little bit, and you're really kind of pay attention to his tone, what he wants. Now, spoiler alert: Britain and France, they want basically the complete opposite of what the United States wants. Um, so you gotta understand in terms of the goals, the United States and Woodrow Wilson, they entered the war 3 years late. They didn't, and the war wasn't fought on our own soil like it was theirs. So spoiler alert. Um, Britain and France are going to want to absolutely hammer Germany. They want to severely punish them and cripple them for bringing this into this war. Whereas the United States, as you'll see here, is kind of a little more lenient. So what you're going to be doing, let me see here. Let me pull this up. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking at these instructions. The next two slides highlight or underline which points from Wilson or treaty you believe would have helped the world maintain peace. So what you're going to do is read this. This is Woodrow Wilson's 14 points. He had a 14-point plan for how to keep the peace after World War One. So you're going to read this, 1 through 14, his 14-point plan. Read these over, and I want you guys to kind of highlight. So in your opinion, going into the instructions, highlight or underline which points from Wilson or treaty you believe would have helped the world maintain peace. So go through and highlight it, whatever points you want that you think would be helpful to maintaining world peace. Now here is so again, this is what Wilson wanted. Okay, what he wanted and what he got are two different things. So these were his goals going into the meeting. So read that. and then here is the actual Treaty of Versailles. So this is what the world got. So read this, and you'll see, did Wilson get some of the things he wanted? Did he not get some of the things he wanted? Was his goals met? Who won out? Did Britain and France get what they wanted by punishing Germany, or was it more Wilson? So again, this is the Treaty of Versailles. This was the actual treaty that Germany had to sign right here. And then what you're going to do, after you kind of do this, you're going to highlight some things on here that you think would be helpful for world peace. Now you're going to go on to here. There are some questions I want you to answer. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at these two slides that I just went over, these two, and you're going to answer these questions. What independent nations are formed or proposed? So you look at the 14 points. You'll answer, whatever nations that Wilson proposed. And then what actually happened with the Treaty of Versailles? What nations were created or proposed? Then you'll go through the list, same thing, you'll kind of compare and contrast. And then there's two other questions I want you to answer. What is the biggest difference between Wilson's 14 points and the Treaty of Versailles? Why are they so different? And then you'll answer this question as well. So hopefully this helps you out with kind of what I'm looking for. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions, and go Middies.